Okay, so my first false lash tip.
Okay, pause. I'm gonna let you finish. I forgot to film an intro for this video, but like you clicked on it, you know it's about false lashes. So I just wanted to tell you really quick, hello, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Taylor. Thank you for clicking on this video. And these are some tips for how to apply false lashes. Here we go.
Is curl your eyelashes. First things first, curl them so that they match the curve of your false lashes. My eyelashes tend to grow naturally very like forward and straight, and that can make it so that it's harder for your natural lashes to blend in and be friends with your false lashes. Tip number 2, use a really tiny liner to get right in your tight line. It just adds a little extra something and gives you that kind of like little cat eye effect. It also just makes your eyes pop more and makes your lash line look even fuller and more defined. And my very favorite one for doing this is the One Fine Line liner from Bare Minerals. It's really, really tiny. It has this little tiny micro tip on it, so you're able to get right under that lash line without feeling like you're going to poke your eye out. It's also very soft, so you don't have to press super hard in a very sensitive area. So as you can see, I've already done that. I just take this right in my lash line, look straight forward. This tickles and feels super weird the first couple times you do it. Just work in small strokes, and I promise it makes the biggest difference. It also just kind of brings this like cat eye effect to your eyes that I also really appreciate. Tip number 3, apply your mascara first. You can do this in whichever order you like. I personally like to apply my mascara before I put my false lashes on. When you put your false lashes on first and then your mascara, you're getting a lot of mascara on the actual false lashes themselves, which I feel like makes it so that they don't last as long. So I like to do my mascara very first and then put my false lashes on. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. This is my absolute favorite mascara of all time. I'm gonna go ahead and put a coat of that on. And remember, we're going to be putting false lashes over this, so whatever mascara you put on, it doesn't need to be like insanely perfect. It just needs to be coated so that your lashes are black to match your false lashes. Tip number 4. 4? Are we on 4? Tip number 4. Get some false lashes with a clear band. So these ones are the Ardell Foamings number 812. These are my absolute favorite. I think that they give you the prettiest false lash while still looking natural, fluttery, like fluffy lash, because they are different lengths, and so they're not just like a super intense lash. So the clear band on the false lashes makes them a little bit more flexible. Sometimes if you have lashes that have a really thick band, it's like they're shaped a certain way, and if that is not the exact shape of your eye, that's when you have the edges start to pop up. They also poke you in that inner corner. The clear band will change your life, I promise. The clear band also helps them to blend in better, so you don't have to use like an eyeliner and then put on false lashes. If you do have a pair of lashes that you love that have a dark band that you feel like are kind of having a hard time blending in as much as you would like, take just a tiny bit of black eyeliner, or even just a tiny bit of black shadow, and smudge it along your upper lashes. That helps to kind of hide that band a little bit more. I lost count. Are we on tip number 5? Next tip, not sure what number we're on anymore. My next tip is to use a brush-on glue. So this is the Duo brush-on glue. I prefer a brush-on glue because obviously, like it says, it's a tiny little brush. You have a lot more control to get it right onto the lash band, and it doesn't like squirt out a bunch and then all of a sudden your hands are covered in glue and your lashes are covered in glue and everything you touch is sticky. Also, the amount of glue that you use plays a big part in how your lashes are going to go on. You don't need a ton, and that's why I prefer using a brush, because you have a lot more control. So I'm just gonna brush this onto the lash band. Another tip is to, while we're talking about glue tips, wait for this to get a little bit like tacky and not quite so wet. This will help the lashes to stick a lot easier and a lot quicker. And it just kind of helps them to adhere better. When it's really wet glue, it can be a lot more difficult to put the lashes where you want them, and then they slide and whatever. When it's starting to dry a tiny bit, it gets a little bit more sticky tacky, and it will stick to your lash line just a little bit better. Also, the next tip, use a pair of tweezers. Seriously, do yourself a favor. Tweezers will change your life. Let's zoom in for this next part. Using tweezers to apply your lashes will make everything so much easier. When you use your fingers, it's like you can't see exactly where you're supposed to be, and then you're poking yourself in the eye. It's a whole nightmare mess. Taking your tweezers and holding your lashes in the center, you're going to line it up with the center of your lid. Also, make sure that you don't close your eyes all the way. That can sometimes create weird creasing in your eyelid, and then your lashes don't want to sit perfectly where they should. So just looking down rather than shutting your eyes really tight will make it a lot easier to apply your lashes as well. So, starting with the center. Place them like you're a doctor doing surgery. Then go ahead and take the outer corner, stick that where it should be, and then your inner corner, is where you can use your fingers to press it into the lid a little bit more. So you can see right now, you can tell where my lashes stop and the false lashes start. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers and just squish them together. Like a little, like you're just sandwiching them together. And I'm just going to take this little liner and touch up just a little bit where I scrape some of it off with my finger. So obviously these lashes are clearly false lashes. However, I feel like they're like bougie but natural, if that makes sense. So you can see the difference between just having mascara and having those false lashes. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the other eyeball now so that we're not totally uneven. I'm gonna show you that again on the other side. Holding your lashes in the center of the lash with your little tweezers. Paint on very carefully your glue. Let it get a little bit sticky tacky for just a second. I mean, you don't have to wait too long because then you don't want it to be like completely dry. Looking down, but not closing your lid all the way. Place the center on the center of your eyeball. Oh, my tweezers are sticky now. The nightmare. At least it was when I was putting them down and not when we were almost done and then I rip off all my eyelashes. Center of the lid. Place the outer corner. Place the inner corner. Take your 2 fingers, smush them together. So if you look right in this very inner corner, you can see a very obvious spot where the false lashes end. So I'm going to take this black liner and do my tight line really quickly. And then I'm also just going to take that just a tiny bit on the edge of the lash into the inner corner, just so there's not quite such an obvious gap. Not that it even really matters that much, because when I wear false lashes, I'm obviously not trying to convince anybody that these are not my natural lashes. Like, obviously I have false lashes on. But that just helps everything to kind of blend a little bit nicer and help everything play together and be friends. Whenever I wear false lashes, I always think of that episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob tells Patrick that Mr. Krabs is going to give them 40 lashes, and Patrick's like, 40 lashes? And he has these like stunning eyelashes, and they're like, whoo, whoo. That's what I think of every time. I've been alone for far too long. Actually, that's probably not true because I feel like I'm like this on a daily basis. Okay, that is it for all of my false lash tips. Oh, here's one last one. When you take your lashes off, peel them off very, very carefully and use a little bit of like micellar water to clean the lash band to get all of the glue off. Then that way your lashes will last you a lot longer and stay looking nice. Be careful with them. Be gentle. They're like, treat them as if they were a fragile little butterfly. I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a little something new or some new tricks and tips. If you have tricks and tips about lashes, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.